morning, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So this is our second in the back to basics of making a journal. So the last one we made 2 journal covers, one from cardboard and separated the spine. I covered it. I had to put a little bit of glittery washi tape on it just to hold it in, because remember the paper wasn't wide enough, and that will fit in there. And I will show you how to do this spine. I'm just going to do 2 sections, but I will explain how you go on. And what I do is, this is a hidden spine kind of, so this, I put cardboard on there and that will fix onto there and then cover the journal. This one was cereal packet, and we used a full box cereal, the side, the front and the back. The other side we cut it in and put it over just to give the spine just a little bit more strength. So now we come to papers. Now this journal that we're making is going to be an ideas journal. It's something I've not done for a while, and it's a good thing to have. So I've got quite a stock of papers here. I'm not going to put all these in one signature, but I've got envelopes. That one's part coffee dyed, that's avocado dyed. I've got book pages, I've got coffee dyed graph paper. I've just got writing, that's not been dyed, it's just yellow. I've got coffee dyed and eco dyed papers. You can see they're wrinkly, that's fine. That one's been done with rust. What I did was I got just a plastic bottle and I shoved a load of old screws and bits of metal in, and I just left it. I put a bit of peroxide in, I put a bit of all sorts in just to see what would happen, and then I just it was there for a couple of months. It could have done just a couple of days, and then that was what I dipped my papers in. We've got a large envelope that's been coffee dyed, and I think that looks yellow. It could be the coffee dyeing that's just soaked in, or it could be saffron and dandelion papers. I've got a couple of invoices that we got when we hired our car in Cyprus. So I'll use them. I've got a couple of magazine pages from a magazine I brought back from Paphos Airport, I think. I've got some music papers. I've got some wallpaper. You know, when you go to you go looking at wallpaper and you rip off your bit to sort of like put on your wall. I do that because I like to use them for journal covers. I don't have wallpaper on my walls. And I've got 2 different types of brown paper. So this one's very brown, and this one's the grey stuff that you usually get in. You get them both in Amazon packaging. So the journal itself is, so we measured it before, so it's 6 inches. So I want my journal probably 5.5, maybe 5 3/4. So that's 11.5, and that's fine. So what I do is I just take a selection of papers and I fold them in half like that. And we'll take a bit of music paper, because you can put them down. And that's got a little rip in it, but that's fine because you can fix it when you doing your journal pages. I think we'll have the music paper. Don't worry about these because you can either cut these or you can fold them in and make pockets. Them over there. I think we'll have a bit of a magazine paper, and yeah, it's glossy. That's fine. We can get rid of the glossiness. Yeah, it is the airport because it's showing you what the airport looks like. This is actually from the hotel we stayed at, a car rental. So I think we'll use the pink one. Then we'll have another bit of this different brown paper. No, what I'll do is I'll put a coffee dyed paper in first. I want to use some of these papers. There's a coffee dyed paper. So that's probably the size of the page that I want. Use a eco dyed. An eco dyed is where I put leaves on it and then covered it in coffee and left it for a wee while to dry. We'll have some lined paper, and I think we'll put that. It doesn't matter because we'll sort that out once we get our pages. Decide on the pages definitely. And some graph paper. And you find when you're putting your pages in like this, even though they're the same size, you know, once and you get a little bit of your pages sort of like start to stick out a bit. We'll have a book page. Because you can have little pages, you don't have to have big pages. And do we want the partly coffee dyed? I think we'll go with the avocado. And again, that's a smaller one. So how many pages? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10's more than enough. Because when you start filling it, you end up with a gator mouth. And I don't mind a gator mouth, but there are a lot of people that don't. So these will go for another signature. And what I want to do is I want to fold this in that way. Now that's made it smaller, which is fine. And we'll fold that one in there. And it doesn't matter that they're not the same. I think we'll put it's Beethoven's original waltz. So that's 3. I think we'll take that one out. And we'll put this one here, 4, 5. Now I'm going to put that one down to the bottom. I'm going to put the eco dyed in there. I'm going to put the book page, not the book page, the envelope. I'm going to put the envelope one in the middle. And we'll have the graph paper and like that, and then just spread it down and that fits in there perfect. So dead easy, and you just deal with your pages as you know, you can gesso them and things like that, and that's what we're going to be doing over this Back to Basics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these in, and I'm looking for a clip that will keep my book. It's not going to keep my book page in that fast, but as long as the rest of the pages are in, that's fine. So what I do is I just clip the pages in like that, and making sure, see, that's not, so making sure that all the pages are down to the crease of the where you're going to have it on the spine, and that's fine. Now what I want to do is I want to put this about there. So what I said was you have about 1 inch per signature, so we've got just over we've got 1 3/4. So what I want is I want that in the middle of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark where my 1/2 inch is there, and there, and then this is going to get covered up, so don't worry about this, and I'm just going to draw a line down there. And that's where we're going to have. Now if you want to, you can measure this out. As you can see, it's 8 1/4, so 1/2 of 8 1/4 is there, just over 4 1/8. And then if you measure from there up, you've got 4 1/4. So I'm going to put this at 2 1/4, and then if I measure 2 1/4 from there down, that's where I want, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I've got 3 marks there that are roughly even. Black thread, and normally it's 2 3. That's probably too much, and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do it the proper way. Not that there is a proper way. So this is my thread fur, and I've got a collection of needles here that are I've got big eyes. That one hasn't, that's got a tiny eye, so we'll put that one back in. And I think we'll use that one. And these kits, you can buy bookbinding kits from Amazon. You don't need them. This is waxed thread, you don't need it. You can use embroidery floss, you can use you know, like the thin crocheted cotton. I wouldn't use any thread that breaks easy, because this is going to take quite a bit of wear and tear. Thread your needle. This is foam, it's packing that I got when I bought something, and I just find this is easier. So I get a bradawl, and usually if you buy a bookbinding kit you will get one of these with it. On that line and poking it down. Now I've got a hole in there as well, so I'm just pulling that back a bit so I can see, and I'm just, the other mark there and the other mark there, and there, we've got 3. So what we do now is we go in and through the middle one. Keeping hold of this, you can go up or down, and you put it through there and through your pages. Go right down to the bottom, through there, through the spine, and through there, and just make sure you get it. Make sure you try not to put the needle through this thread. And what you need is these threads, one either side of this. So you need one either side of your middle. Pull it tight, not too tight, because you don't want to do any damage to your papers, because it will tear. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. So I'm shortening this one and I'm lengthening this one, so they're about the same, and the dangle down there. Now you can either tie them in a double knot like that, and normally I would cut them off, or you can tie them in a bow, or you can leave them and you can have like little dangly things dangling. For the purpose of this, I'll just leave it in a bow. And there we are. And you can take your clips off. So there's your first signature. And then what I usually do is fold it in like that. And you can see I've put it in a little bit wonky, but don't worry about it. Open these out. We did our book page at the bottom. And we've got our magazine page, our brown paper with the fold over, music paper, envelope. And all I'm doing is I'm just putting a crease, because it might alter them slightly when you put them in, when you're stitching them in. Especially if you put it in a little bit wonky like me, but don't worry about it. It's fine. And graph paper. And there we are. And that's that. So we've got so we put 10 in, so that gives us 20 pages. It gives us 40 sides, so that's quite a lot of sides. Normally I would put 7 or 8 in, but because this is an ideas journal, I'm putting more in. Now, to do this kind of page, and as I said, I'm only putting 2 in. So when I put my fins in, I want 1/4 of an inch between each page, but then I want a fin, and I want the fin 1/2 an inch. So what I do is I take it up. So I usually start with 1/2 an inch. So I'll start with 1/2 an inch, and that's just kind of spare, that just sits at the side. Now so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this, so the 1/2 inch will go there. So I really don't want a fin stuck at the end, so I want 1/4 of an inch, then 1/4 of an inch, then a fin, and then 1/4 of an inch. So that's the bit that's going to go on the book cover. So then I want 1/4 of an inch, so that's 1 3/4. Then I want my fin, so 1 3/4, 1 1/4 is 1/2 an inch, 1 3/4 is 2 1/2 inches, then 2 is my other 1/4 inch. So I've got a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, I've got my fin, which is a half inch, then I've got my space, a 1/4 inch, then I want 2 more half inches, so I've got 1, 2, and then I want a 1/4 inch, but because that's the last one, I'm going to take it to half an inch, and I'm actually going to cut that off. So this was our first half inch, and I fold that, and then we've got a 1/4 inch space, so fold that. Then we've got our fin, which is a half inch, 2 half inches, so we fold that into a mountain like that. Then we've got a 1/4 inch space, so that's a valley, and it's a valley at the other side as well, so open that up. So your spaces are valleys, your fins are mountains. And then the last half inch, so there we've got 2 fins like that. Now normally you would keep going, so you wouldn't have done a half inch, you would have done a 1/4 inch, then another half, 1/4, half, 1/4, until you had as many fins as you wanted pages. And I glue these, I stitch mine in, so if you're not going to stitch them in, you can use double-sided sticky tape and glue. And what I'm doing is I'm just gluing the fins down, so it's the 2 half inches. So there you are, you've got your first fin. So then we've got a 1/4 inch, and then we've got our next 2 half inches, which is our page fin. And stick that down like that. And just hold it until it takes. And there we are. We have our 2 fins like that, and that's how we do them. So that's got a space there, a space there, and a space there. And normally I would put these let me put that one up, because that's the bit that's going to go on the boot flap. So that would get stuck down there like that, and then that gives that plenty of room, and I've got my 2 fins there. And I did say I would do this because I wanted to show you how to do it. Pages you're using, because I used an A4 digital, I just fold this in half like that, and fold this one. There's no up or right side up or right side down. These are just patterned. It's part of the tartan hearts papers that I'm going to be popping in here, and we'll just burnish that down and burnish that one down. See, I never got it right. And there we are. How I stick this on my fins is, if there's a right way up and if it's directional paper, make sure that you put them all the right way. So I open it out, I get my first fin, and I glue. Normally, because I sew them in, I just use, and it doesn't matter how much glue you put on this part. I normally just use a glue stick, and I'll put that down there like that. And then I've got a line there, valley fold, so when I put my glue on this side of the fin, I make sure it doesn't go over the valley fold. If it does, you've got to wait until, where's my, you've got to wait until the glue dries, or put a bit of talcum powder on it to stop it from sticking. And then I just fold it over, glue the page down, because I stitch mine, but if you wanted to, you could stick it at the bottom, and you could have a pocket in the top. I've done it once or twice, and there we are. So, and that's our valley fold there. So there's our next page fin. So there's our space there, and our next page fin. So this is directional, so this is going to be the way it's sat in. So I'll put my, open it out, and again put the paper right up to the crease at the bottom of the fin. And then I put the fin down like that and press it down. Then I glue this side of the fin and put that down like that, and that's how you have your pages that open flat. Obviously when they've got pockets and things like that on them, it does lift them a little bit because you are adding bulk, but that's how you would put those pages. But obviously if you had more pages, that would only be 1/4 of an inch, and you would have another fin that you would put your next page on, and that's what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and stitch these. I'll be back, and then we'll stick them in there. Okay, I'm back. So I was going to sew right the way around the pages, but what I've decided is, because it's an ideas journal, I might want some pockets to put bits and pieces in that I can't fit in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a thumb notch in the page. I'm just guessing the middle, and it's just a circle punch I'm using. There we are. And the same with that one. So if you put your 2 pages, the edges like that, then you can get the there we are. So our pages are the same. So what I do need to do is I need to glue the bottom bit, and that's what I'm going to do. So I've got a nice pocket, and I'm just putting a line of glue as far up as I can get it. And again, as far as I can get it into the stitched bit. And if I wanted, I could still stitch the bottom, but I'll not bother, because I know not everybody wants to do any stitching, you've either not got a sewing machine, or you don't want to use your sewing machine for doing your journals, and that's fine. Everybody has their own idea. Now what I want to do is I want to glue this in. So what I'm going to do is I've got the two 2/4 inches there, and it's the 2/4 inches I'm going to put glue on first. And again, you could use double-sided sticky tape for this. The only thing with double-sided sticky tape, over time it does kind of go dry, and it, things, the sticky sort of like disappears. So this is the edge that's going to go up to here. So I'm just folding that up. It doesn't matter that I've put my fingers on the sticky at all, making sure that my hearts are the right way up. And I'm just going to place that this side of that crease, and then move that down, and then press that one down because that's got glue on it. And then I'm going to put glue on this side. And then I'm going to press that down like that. We've got that. We've got that. Now that's it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this and put it right up to the edge. This is going to get covered anyway, so, and then put it down like that. And I'm going to let that dry on there before I fold that. So there we are, we've got our signature and our two papers here. And I'm still folding them down. I've got glue on my fingers and it's so we've got our two pockets in the back of our journal. Now with this part you can use anything. You can use music paper, you can use coffee dyed paper, anything dyed paper. And I'm just going to check if I fold it in half, because I've got some more. So I've folded that in half, so I can use both pieces, one to do the front and one to do the back. And I'll just rip that off. And at this point, if you wanted to, I mean, that's coffee. These have been in the oven to dry. Sometimes when if I do coffee dyeing in the winter, I just put all my papers together and just put them in the oven, and just in one of the trays that I put my coffee in. And then I think we'll have that coffee at the bottom. And I think we'll do that. And I'm just and again, you can use double-sided sticky tape and a bit of glue to do this. And then we'll just make sure that it's all stuck in and get my and if you get any corners curling or anything like that, just lift them and put a little bit more glue on them. And I'm not going to put that one on there because oh yeah, I can. It's the thing I'm not lifting, isn't it? Now we have got a little bit showing there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find I'm looking for some washi tape, and this is, it just looks like stamps. Or should I use this one? I think we'll use this one because I don't need to stick this down. This is really sticky and I don't use it, so lift that up. And then we'll just cut that. And washi tape hides a multitude of sins. And the one thing with some washi tapes is you can ink them over. So it's just that part, the spine. And then just put this down here and just even it up. A little bit of glue seepage there, but never mind. And this I got from Temu. And it's got like a smooth side. It's more for doing vinyl and things like that with, but I use it for my journaling, and I'm just wiping that away like that. So there we are, we have our signature, we have our pockets, and I'm going to fold this in. What I'm doing is I'm just marking that down there where it creases, I think. Yeah. And then just fold it in like that. And I usually fold it right over and give it a little crease, so you find that it does lift a little bit, but that's fine. And push it in. So there we are. We have our signature and we have our 2 pockets. So the next video will be making things to go in them. But as I said, I'll do this. So it is the cardboard that's going down on there. So again, yeah, I was just making sure that the cardboard was equal. If it isn't, it isn't. And I put plenty of glue on this. You can use bookbinders glue. Sometimes I do when it's grey board, I use bookbinders glue. What I usually do is I use just one of these silicone, they're hairdressers brushes, silicone blade brushes for putting dye on hair. It's just so I've got a thin coating on the whole thing because it's cardboard. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to pop that in there. And then I will open it out and press it down so that the cardboard's getting pressed onto the spine. And there we are, we have the cardboard. But what I usually do is, just to make sure, I usually put quite a strong bulldog clamp on both sides. Now I'm not sure if these are, yep, they are, they're big enough. Yep. So what I'll do is I'll leave that like that. Then once all that's stuck down, then I stick that down. Then I put the covers on there, and it will be part of the digital for this. So in the next video, as I say, we'll be going over sort of like priming the pages, deciding what we're going to do. I think we'll put a bit of white acrylic on that, or some gesso. We'll make our pockets, decide what we're going to do with that, because I think I'll end up opening these 2 edges and making kind of pockets in there, and then we'll start our Back to Basics ephemera and making ephemera from book page, brown paper, pretty papers, your spare digitals and everything. So I hope you get something out of that, and I hope you'll have a go, and I hope you craft along with me, making your own ideas journal, because they are great things. I've been doing this for a long time, and until I started the Back to Basics 2 years ago, there's still lots of things that I keep forgetting to do. I forget about it, I do it once and then I forget about it. But if I had an ideas journal with them all in, I could go through that before I started my journal and think, yeah, I want that pocket, I want that fold. So that's kind of why we have an ideas journal. Anyway, enough waffle, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.